Hello and welcome to this video on the problem with the current power dynamic in affiliate marketing. The status quo dynamic, in my view, is imbalanced towards advertisers who sit at the top with networks below them and publishers below advertisers and the network. The dynamic doesn't make much sense given publishers are the only party to own media, have an audience, and are the most essential part of affiliate marketing. Effectively, if there's no publishers, there's no affiliate marketing. So then, why do publishers have the least power? From the offset, publishers cede autonomy and authority by agreeing to a network's terms and then to an advertiser's own specific terms. Publishers often have little to no influence on these terms. Once on an advertiser's program, the advertiser dictates the CPA, when payment will be made through validation, the cookie window, and what is and isn't a legitimate sale, and can sometimes retrospectively change the rules. The extent an affiliate works with an advertiser is decided mostly by the advertiser. For example, access to exclusive offers, and some publishers can be excluded from benefits based on an advertiser's criteria for access. For example, certain assets or creatives can be limited to a chosen few, impeding those that are excluded. Finally, publishers have limited ability to dispute with advertisers and rely on the network to support them. There have been horror stories of advertisers not paying commission or doing other unseemly practices, sometimes with impunity. There are specific problems the areas above create, such as there's an established norm within an affiliate whereby the more revenue an affiliate generates, the lower the CPA is expected to be. This then doesn't make sense if sales generated on a CPA are by default profitable. So why then are affiliates expected to make less money for doing better for their advertisers? Tenancy media is seldom bought at full value. It's another established norm whereby it is offered at some form of discount. The question then is, if it is worth the original value, why does it need to be discounted and publishers make less money on the sale of it? Finally, more mature programs, maybe those that are 3 years old, can decide to optimize out affiliates with similar offerings. So loyal affiliates that have worked with brands for several years can be cut off for the sake of some form of optimization. Networks then have their own challenges, the main one being the fact that they're funded by advertisers. Networks also fundamentally offer the same product, which is publishers, invoicing, and tracking. And the three of these seldom differ between the competitors and give advertisers the ability to easily switch at will. Mature programs can even opt to take their programs in-house, switching to a SaaS solution rather than working with a network. Advertisers then have the ability to do things I argue aren't in the best interests of the industry. For example, non-payment of valid commissions for whatever reason, or even disputing the payment of valid commissions. Creating a race to the bottom with networks, whereby network fees are encouraged to be lower and lower, which impedes a network's ability to invest in itself or to service accounts correctly with the right talent. And finally, the no value argument, whereby the channel as a whole is dismissed as offering no value, often to the detriment of network and publishers. The no value argument is unique to affiliate in that versus other channels, the nature of this argument either doesn't happen at all or plays out differently. Let's compare Google to an affiliate network and publishers. If value is an issue in affiliate marketing, an advertiser can do a series of things. They can complain, they can renegotiate, they can switch, they could go in-house, or they could outsource. They can do this because they have a greater degree of control in affiliate marketing. However, if an advertiser has an issue with the value of Google and they're running a paid search campaign or campaigns, they can't reasonably do anything against Google because Google is so big that the advertiser needs to work with them regardless. And the fault then for a lack of value is often placed on the advertiser's own bidding strategy. It seems that only in affiliate the fault can be laid on the network and the publishers, and there's less of an introspective view of the placement of blame or fault if things aren't working out how an advertiser wants. The question then is it now time for change? If the playing field is to be leveled, the definition and party responsible for determining what value is cannot solely be the advertiser. It must become a more democratic decision between advertiser, network, and publisher. However, the industry should not aim to produce monopolies, the likes of Google and Facebook, which have come with their own set of associated problems. Change is happening though. Networks are moving to change, albeit slowly. Rakuten are transforming into a cross-channel, cross-platform entity with B2C and B2B offerings. What they're doing is creating a desirable ecosystem that advertisers will want to gain access to in order to reach consumers that are interacting, either through their acquisition of eBates or through their TV offering or their display, paid search, or whatever it may be. This helps the network, in this case, create a stronger want and can divert some power from the advertiser towards the network in the dynamic. Awin have bought several competitors around the world and have really improved their global offering and ability to service clients worldwide. This also helps create a stronger want. The best example, though, that I'm currently aware of in terms of shifting power in the dynamic is the WebGains and Social Chain partnership. As an exclusive arrangement only available through WebGains, it creates an immediate want which over time could be evolved into a need, the same need that exists with Google and Facebook. The want for the advertiser intensifies due to the scale Social Chain can provide as a massive player in social media. All parties work more towards an equal footing. The network holds exclusivity, the publisher holds scale, and the advertiser holds a willingness to invest. Finally, and this is key, the opportunity is not easily replicated with an affiliate. An advertiser cannot find an easy alternative. This fact above all is what shifts power away from the advertiser towards the network and publisher in a fairer fashion. Going further then, is it time for a super network? So the development of the Social Chain and WebGains partnership, what does something bigger than that look like? Is a super network or super networks the answer to the imbalance? And what would a super network look like? My take is yes. Super networks are likely the answer. And here's what a super network or super networks could look like. Firstly, there'd have to be exclusive access to publishers, which by default will guarantee that there's a want from the side of the advertiser, which could be evolved into a need. So an advertiser would eventually need to work with a super network or super networks to have access to the best publishers and reach the most amount of consumers. Automation of media buying would have to occur to liberate the decision of who decides value from advertisers to a more data-led process. Publishers should be able to integrate their sites into the network's media delivery system so they can focus on content while the network monetizes it on their behalf. Websites could eventually be built from software offered by the network and be built to monetize affiliate media from the start. So there could be particular placements that are by default already included in websites made this way. And you can think of this as a sort of an Airbnb type approach to affiliate marketing between the publisher and the network. CPA must be championed as the commercial model in order for this to stand up against the CPC models or cost per view models offered by other channels and businesses. A new regulator made up of all players and with legal power to enforce anti-monopolistic behaviors. It will be pivotal, and that's really important in stopping super networks forming any form of cartel. And eventually, the grand vision or grand plan for the super network or super networks is to invest in the development of the next web or next app or whatever it is, and whatever way people start to shop next, that should be developed off the back of these businesses in order to reduce reliance on Google. Any new dynamic resulting from super networks should create a pursuit of mutual benefit where the parties become equal in power and the industry focuses on serving the customer rather than serving the priorities of each party. Going back to the last point on the development of the next way people shop, I think that this is really important, and that the existence of super network or super networks will help networks really focus and invest on e-com and the customer and how they shop, rather than the challenges they currently face, such as winning market share from each other. So then, in closing, fragmentation is a fundamental weakness of affiliate marketing. Advertisers do not need to be on a particular network, which is why so many networks exist, along with all the other SaaS and other tracking platforms. Publishers often work across multiple networks and all of these platforms. This fragmentation leaves networks and publishers unable to change or even challenge the current status quo in the power dynamic. For healthy change to happen, unity must happen between networks and publishers, like we've seen with WebGains and Social Chain, and that can help really improve the industry as a whole in the future, whether that's through super networks or through some other means. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content.